This video is on critical reading responses, or CRRs. Your CRRs will be 3 paragraphs at least for each assigned reading. For our purposes, a paragraph will be no less than 3 sentences. That's 3 paragraphs of 3 sentences apiece. That's the bare minimum. These should act as your notes for your in-class discussion of the readings for that week. If you are taking an asynchronous course, you have to do the work, submit them in the discussion board. If you would like to speak with me, if you would like to have a discussion, you need to schedule office hours. For the synchronous course, I suggest that you have the readings done by the time we meet. You are not confined to 3 paragraphs or 3 sentences per paragraph. These are your notes. But the fact that you have read and thought about the assigned essays will also be evinced by these pages. That's what you have to convince me in these pages, that you have read the work and you are responding to it. Please compose them in a manner appropriate to this goal. These responses will be graded. If your responses are substandard or suggest to me that you have not read or given ample thought to the assigned readings, I may ask you to redo them. I won't ask you to redo them more than once. Bear in mind, 3 paragraphs of 3 sentences apiece is a minimum requirement. Most people in the world do the minimum, do the bare minimum, just enough to get by. This is where the term satisfactory or average comes from. It's also where the grade of C comes from. Students who spend time considering the readings and composing substantive CRRs, demonstrating complex thought and critical analysis of the work, will earn grades on these responses above that of merely satisfactory. Please make a substantial effort in everything you do in life. With regard to this recurring assignment, your effort will be reflected in your grade for the class. In life, your effort will be reflected in others' opinions of you and their treatment of you. In your CRRs, I'd like you to address the following. This will be listed in the assignment for the discussion board. Introduce the article and the writer. Try looking up the author. For some reason, none of my students ever seem to look up the author. You should always look up the author of anything that's written. Find out what their biases are. Find out who they are, where they come from. You might avoid laughable blunders, like using masculine pronouns when referring to the author Joan Didion. That happens surprisingly a lot. Explain what you believe is the overall point of the article. This is number 2. By examining the author's argument. This will take you more than a paragraph. It'll probably take you 3-4 paragraphs. It'll take me far more than 2 paragraphs to write. You are examining the author's argument. Number 3, I want you to isolate a quote. Something that identifies a critical problem, either that you agree with or you disagree with. It doesn't matter. You will use MLA formatting and in-text citation to incorporate your quote. You have not learned this yet. You can give it a shot. On the first couple of them, I'll be pretty forgiving on the first few CRRs. But after we have a lecture on MLA in-text citation, the demands for these things will go up. So bear that in mind. Number 4, you will explain the relevance of the quote that you selected in the work. This is important. Why did you pick it? Is it because you disagree with it? Is it because you agree with it? Explain it to me. And number 5, what do you think of the topic beyond what the article stated? So many times authors will write about subjects and there's more to them than what's on the page. Do you have preconceived notions about these things? Do you have opinions prior to reading? Did reading make your opinion change? Tell me what you think of the article. This is important. This is critical thinking. And you'll need to do this for each reading. That's it. Those are CRRs. If you have any questions, email me.